Daily Devotions, Job chapter 40 and 41, The Power and Wisdom of God, illustrated in The Tale of Two Beasts. Can we contend with God? Recognizing our limits, God's challenge to Job. Let's begin with Scripture. Moreover, the Lord answered Job and said, Shall he that contendeth with the Almighty instruct him? He that reproveth God, let him answer it. Then Job answered the Lord and said, Behold, I am vile, what shall I answer thee? I will lay mine hand upon my mouth. Once have I spoken, but I will not answer. Yea, twice, but I will proceed no further. Then answered the Lord unto Job out of the whirlwind, and said, Gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. Wilt thou also disannul my judgment? Wilt thou condemn me, that thou mayest be righteous? Hast thou an arm like God? Or canst thou thunder with a voice like him? Deck thyself now with majesty and excellency, and array thyself with glory and beauty. Cast abroad the rage of thy wrath, and behold every one that is proud, and abase him. Look on every one that is proud, and bring him low, and tread down the wicked in their place. Hide them in the dust together, and bind their faces in secret. Then will I also confess unto thee that thine own right hand can save thee. Behold now Behemoth, which I made with thee. He eateth grass as an ox. Lo now, his strength is in his loins, and his force is in the navel of his belly. He moveth his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his stones are wrapped together. His bones are as strong pieces of brass, his bones are like bars of iron. He is the chief of the ways of God. He that made him can make his sword to approach unto him. Surely the mountains bring him forth food, where all the beasts of the field play. He lieth under the shady trees, in the covert of the reed and fens. The shady trees cover him with their shadow. The willows of the brook compass him about. Behold, he drinketh up a river, and hasteth not. He trusteth that he can draw up Jordan into his mouth. He taketh it with his eyes. His nose pierceth through snares. Chapter 41. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird? Or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons? Or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down, even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who hath prevented me, that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another, they stick together, that they cannot be sundered. By his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. Flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves, they cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings they purify themselves. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the dart, nor the habergeon.
In Job chapter 40 and 41, God challenges Job by highlighting his unmatched power and wisdom, especially as seen in his creation. These chapters serve to remind Job, and us readers, of the vastness and majesty of God compared to human understanding. In Job chapter 40, God directly addresses Job and invites him to answer the questions posed, emphasizing the limitations of human judgment. God describes his creative authority and introduces the behemoth, a massive, powerful creature symbolizing strength beyond human control. This creature exemplifies God's unparalleled strength and mastery over all creation. In this chapter, God calls out Job's challenge to divine justice, teaching him the importance of humility and reminding him that understanding God's purposes is beyond human reach. Through the image of the behemoth, God emphasizes his power and wisdom in governing all creation, encouraging Job to trust in his sovereign ways. Chapter 41 continues with God's vivid description of another formidable creature, the Leviathan. This sea creature is depicted as invincible and fearsome, something no human could hope to control. The Leviathan's impenetrable armor, fierce demeanor, and uncontrollable nature serve as a further reminder of God's ultimate authority, power, and might. God's portrayal of the Leviathan underscores that even the most terrifying aspects of creation are under his control. This imagery challenges Job and readers to trust in God's sovereignty, realizing that the Creator's ways and purposes are often far beyond human comprehension. These chapters highlight themes of humility, trust, and reverence for God's infinite power. Job's encounter with God, though these creatures, serves as a humbling reminder that humanity's understanding is limited, while God's authority and wisdom are boundless. Reflection. In Job, chapter 40 and 41, God reveals his majesty by describing the behemoth and leviathan creatures too powerful for humans to control. These mighty beasts are testament to God's awe-inspiring creation, yet they obey the will of God alone. Through these chapters, Job comes to realize that God's wisdom and power transcend human comprehension, particularly during periods of distress and uncertainty. Job, like us, wrestled with why difficult circumstances occur, but God reminds him that his wisdom is unsearchable. Job couldn't control or even fully comprehend creatures like Leviathan, just as we often can't comprehend or control life's challenges. In his response, God asks Job to trust him, to recognize his power, and to surrender the need to understand every detail. How often do we, too, feel like we're wrestling with a Leviathan in our lives? We seek God for answers. Yet, he doesn't always provide explanations, nor is he obligated to do so. Instead, he asks us to trust in his character and his sovereignty over all things, even when they feel overwhelming. Application. Today, let's pause and consider the area in our lives where we struggle to let go. Are there burdens, questions, or situations we have not surrendered to God's care? Like Job, may we find peace, not in answers but in God's character and his sovereignty. Trusting him doesn't imply we'll comprehend everything, but it does assure us that we're secure in his wisdom and power.
Thanks for tuning in. Remember to subscribe, like and share.